Senator Blumenthal. Senator Ernst.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Secretary, and thank you, Chairman, for being here. Ms. McDonald, I'm actually going to have a question for you. So thank you very much for being here. And I know that Iran is on our minds right now. And Secretary, I'll just pose a very quick question to you. October 7th, 2023, Hamas attacked Israel. Who is the primary funder of Hamas?
Senator, it is Iran.
And who is the primary sponsor then that provides them with the weapons that they use to attack Israel?
Same answer, ma'am.
And maybe our public is not aware, but 43 Americans lost their lives on October 7th at the hands of Hamas, which is an Iran-backed terrorist organization. 43 Americans. We never talk about it, folks. I heard nothing about this in the Biden administration. So when there is question about whether it's appropriate for America to be engaged in the Middle East in defending Americans that live and work abroad, I think there's our answer. So thank you, Secretary. I'll start with the Secretary, then I'll come to you, Ms. McDonald. Secretary Hegseth, I do want to thank you because we've had many discussions about this. You have appointed Steve Erickson as the Executive Director of Force Resiliency, and he will oversee the Department's Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Office, what we know as SAPRO. And he will directly report to you on the issue of sexual assault within our military. And you've been very responsive on this issue, and I commend you for that. And I have already received my first briefing by Mr. Erickson. So to continue building on this progress, I'm going to hold quarterly meetings with the SAPRO, and we want to make sure that we continue the momentum that we are seeing within the department on that. And Secretary Hegseth, from your vantage point, what positive trends are you seeing out of SAPRO?
Well, first of all, Senator, I want to thank you and other members of this committee for the work you've done on that issue. And I think in large part, and you'll see this in this budget, we continue to fund the programs which have seen efficacy. And so I think a lot of these were newer programs, new initiatives, new emphasis put in place that we have simply sought to maintain and accelerate. And you see that in this budget. And thankfully, we've seen this year sexual assault numbers decrease. One is too many, as we've said before, but a decrease is a good trend to see. We want to continue that.
Wonderful, and we'll continue working with the department on that. And an amendment that I am going to propose for this year's NDAA would require quarterly briefings from the SAPRO for members of Congress, just as they do with suicide prevention. So we'll continue working on that. I also would love to touch upon a number of other issues I've worked as far when it comes to fiscal sanity within the department. I can submit those for the record because I do want to give Ms. McDonald an opportunity. Let's talk about an audit. I love working with the comptrollers out there, but GAO released a report warning that the Department of Defense is unlikely to achieve a clean audit by 2028, citing longstanding financial management weaknesses. And it's my understanding that a key issue in the department's continued reliance on outdated business and feeder systems that lack internal controls continues to contribute to that. So to help address that, in the reconciliation package, we have $350 million that will be dedicated and directed toward improving audit outcomes across the department. So Ms. McDonald, all to you. Can you walk us through how the department intends to meet its statutory requirement of achieving that clean audit by 2028?
Thank you for the question, Senator, and thank you for your support in reconciliation for automation, AI, and business system replacement to achieve the audit. The first day we came in, that was one of the first topics the Secretary and I discussed, and he actually just put out a memo with guidance for milestones each fiscal year that the department is going to achieve the financial audit by 2028 or sooner, as he has challenged us to do. The Marine Corps just passed their second clean audit opinion. 2 additional components have done the same recently. And within the next 3 years, under the Secretary's guidance, the remainder of the department will achieve the clean audit opinion.
Well, outstanding. We really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for your service to our great nation.
Thank you very much, Senator Ernst.